All right, ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to Steve's Guitars. Thank you all for being here early enough to get good seats, because sometimes that doesn't happen. Sometimes folks just don't show up until it's way late, but we're good tonight. Before we get started, I want to send a couple of shout-outs. First off, we'd like to thank Feldman and Wirtz Law Firm and PM Consulting Limited up in Aspen. These fine folks support our web streams. Without them, we could not be doing these things. I want to send a shout out to GrassRoots Community Network. They are Aspen's community access station. They're the first and oldest community access cable station in the country. They support us as well. Thank you very much. And of course, a shout out to our good friends, the Standiford clan, for having this amazing space. Yeah. Lastly, but absolutely not leastly, thank you to all of you who are here supporting live music or online supporting live music. It's a wonderful thing to do. The musicians and, of course, the venues, we all appreciate your support, and you might just walk away with a little bit more of an expanded vocabulary and musical edification. So it's a good thing. Without any further ado, I want to make sure I get this right. Please welcome John Showman and Chris Coole of the Lonesome Ace String Band.
boatman, he comes ashore, he spends his cash and works for more. Oh, dance, dance, boatman, dance. You dance all night till the broad daylight, go home with the girls in the morning. Let's sing it high, roll the boatman, roll, floating down the river, the Ohio. I went on board the other day, see what that boatman had to say. There I left my passion loose and they crammed me in the calaboose. So dance, dance, boatman, dance, dance all night till the broad daylight, go home with the girls in the morning. I sing high and roll the boatman and roll, he's floating down the river, the Ohio. Boys for the nine-tailed cat, oh dance, yep. Dance, 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 will you dance all night till the broad daylight, go home with the girls in the morning. I take it high, roll the boatman, roll, floating down the river, the Ohio. Boatman, he's a thrifty man, none can do as a boatman can. Never met a pretty girl in my life that didn't wish she was a boatman's wife. Oh, dance, yes you dance, dance, dance. Will you dance all night till the broad daylight, go home with the girls in the morning. Sing it high, roll the boatman, roll, floating down the river, the Ohio. High, roll the boatman, roll, he's floating down the river, the Ohio.
Thanks a lot, everybody. That's John Showman on the fiddle. I'm Chris Coole. We're so glad to be here in Carbondale with you tonight at Steve's Guitars. Me and John live up in Toronto, Canada, so we're a long way from home here. One thing us Canadians are real proud of is our songwriters we have up there. We have some great songwriters, and last year, 2023, we lost two of our most beloved, Gordon Lightfoot and Robbie Robertson. And I'm going to sing you a Robbie Robertson song right now. This is called Stage Fright. Deep in the heart of a lonely kid, suffered so much for what he did. I gave that plowboy his fortune and fame. Since that day he ain't been the same. See the man with the stage fright, standing up there to give it all his might. Well, he got caught in the spotlight. When he gets to the end, he gets to start all over again. Got fire water right on my breath. The doctor warns me I might catch my death. Says you could make it in your disguise. Just never show the fear that's in your eyes. See the man with the stage fright, standing up there to give it all his might. He got caught in the spotlight. When he gets to the end, he gets to start all over again. Now if he says that he's afraid, is for the price the poor boy paid. He gets to sing just like a bird. Sweating and your mouth gets dry. Fancy people go drifting by. The moment of truth is right at hand. It's one more nightmare that you can stand. See the man with the stage fright, standing up there to give it all his might. He got caught in the spotlight. When he gets to the end, he gets to start all over again.
I knew we shouldn't have given that dog that sandwich before we sound check today. We should just bring him in here. I mean, I don't think the owner's gonna care. He's a pretty cute dog. He's just lonely. He just wants to hang out. But yeah, feeding him that sandwich was a mistake. Never feed a dog that's chained to a tree.
All right. Well, me and John, when we're not playing as a duo, we're often playing as a trio under the name the Lonesome Ace String Band. And we put out a new album last year. The album's called Try to Make It Fly. And it's all original tunes that we wrote, and we'll be playing a bunch of them for you tonight. And we'll start with this one, this next one right here. Is one that I wrote at the first couple months of the pandemic. That was, for me, I'd been, it was the first time I'd been home for like 3 or 4 weeks in a row in about 15 or 16 years or something. I'd been traveling around so much and hadn't realized, and I think a lot of jobs and professions are like this, but in this business, we're going so fast. It really doesn't leave a lot of time to think about the how and the why of what you're doing. And sitting on the couch there, we got awful lot of time, just a forced moment to think about, what this life's all about. And some of it's good, and some of it was good, and some of it was bad. But here I am, back out on the road, and that's where this next song comes from.
You've learned nothing.
This is called Simply Going Sideways. drinking from a fountain. Man, weren't we high? Never miss your water until it all goes dry. Simply going sideways, 45 days and nights out on that great northern highway. Town to town, spent your whole life singing, but you barely made a sound. Jack of the trade, king of the road. Try to do it your way. In the end, it's all just rock and roll. Searching for something they won't ever forget. Inside and outside, still you didn't find it yet. Crossing or in Detroit, man at the booth says you can't ride, but you have to pay the toll. Boy, this road ain't free. Said I'll be damned, 'cause freedom's all it's ever given me. Jack of the tree, king of the road. Try to do it your way. In the end, it's all just rock and roll. Searching for something they won't ever forget. Inside and outside, still you didn't find it yet. Someday I might tell you, you won't find it from searching, but only those who search ever find truth. Well, I'll let you know. But right now, a new day's dawning, and it's getting time to go. Inside and outside, still you didn't find it yet. Inside and outside, still you didn't find it yet. Inside and outside, still you didn't find it yet. Thanks very much.
All right, here's a little-known song by a really well-known songwriter. This is maybe the last song Hank Williams ever recorded. And if you will listen, a song I will sing about my daddy who ran a log train way down in the Southland in old Alabama. We lived in a place that they called Chapman Town. And every evening when the sun was low, way off in the distance you could hear the train blow. Well, the folks would come running and Mama would sing, put the supper on the table, here comes the log train. And every morning at the break of day, he'd grab his lunch bucket and be on his way. In the winter, in the summer, in the sunshine or rain, and every morning he'd run that old log train. Well, sweating and swearing all day long, he'd shout, "Get up there, oxen, keep moving along. Oh, load her up, boys, 'cause it looks like rain. And I've got to get rolling this old log train." Well, this story happened a long time ago. The log train is silent, God called Dad to go. But when I get to heaven, to always remain, I'll listen for the whistle of the old log train. Yes, I'll listen for the whistle of the old log train.
Well, me and John Showman here are big fans of John Hartford's music, and we're gonna play a bunch of it tonight for you. We'll start off with this one, and this is actually not a song that he wrote, but it's a fiddle tune that he learned from the great Kentucky fiddle player J.P. Fraley, and then it went through the Hartford filter, and then it went through the John and Chris filter. The tune's called "The Road to Maysville." All right. Well, here's one. Me and John wrote this together. We spent an afternoon. We go on these writing retreats. We try to get a couple times a year to sort of get together and bear down, get into the country and hang out for a few days and record and write. And sometimes that means me and him are like wandering around the forest together, talking. And this next song is sort of that. I tell people this next song is sort of like if you imagine the song "Will the Circle Be Unbroken." If with the song, you know that one, it's famous. I've heard of it. If the song, imagine if the song "Will the Circle Be Unbroken" had been written by a couple of middle-aged hippies wandering around through the forest thinking about eternity. I think it would sound something like this. This is called "You'll Be There." Flying high, flying low, hard to tell just where you go, but you'll be there. When the wind blows strong, all you do is blow along, but you'll be there. You can use up all your reason looking for a kinder season. All the people that you know, they're all gonna come and go, but you'll be there. When push comes to shove, it's just an exercise in love, but you'll be there. You can use up all your reason looking for the kinder season, but the spring can't come till the winter's winds are done. Live it up, pay it back, just enough to keep on track, but you'll be there. In the end, you might claim that it's all just been a game, but you'll be there. You can use up all your reason looking for a kinder season, but the spring can't come till the winter's winds are done. Summer's just waiting for the leaves to start falling off the trees. You won't remember when it all begins again, but you'll be there. You won't remember when it all begins again, but you'll be there. You won't remember when it all begins again, but you'll be there. Thanks so much. So you walk around in the forest, you figure it all out sometimes.
So you guys like, do you guys like semi-historical songs? It's a proud tradition in folk music. I'm going to sing you one that I wrote.
Is that anything like half-truths?
It's just a half-truth, yeah. Anybody like half-truths?
That's us, 3 chords and the half-truths.
Sweet. Here's a song about Pretty Boy Floyd. I got interested in the story of Pretty Boy Floyd just from kind of rereading Grapes of Wrath. And there's a couple of pages where Ma Jode talks about Pretty Boy Floyd, the poor farmhand who, you know, tries to do right and ends up doing wrong and runs afoul of the law and tries to fight back, but eventually just gets run down and ground down, and, you know, sort of a tale of woe. Poor Pretty Boy Floyd. But I knew he was a very renowned bank robber, so I figured something must have happened between him trying to do right and falling afoul of the law. And sure enough, I was right. I did some real serious research, or about as much research as a guy with 2 kids has time to do. I went to Wikipedia and read all about Charles Pretty Boy Floyd, who was turns out a very violent criminal. He was wanted for over half a dozen murders, all police officers in Kansas City and St. Louis. And the reason he got in so much trouble is because he loved to rob banks. That was his favorite pastime. His second favorite pastime came as a result of his first pastime, and his second favorite pastime was open gun battles in downtown streets in broad daylight with the cops, which probably led to all the, you know, charges. But, you know, I got down about page 3 or 4 in Wikipedia, and turns out that what he did when he robbed banks, and he robbed countless banks, was he would empty the vaults, and then he would find all the mortgages the banks held, and he would burn them. So, and this is the middle of the Great Depression. And back then, unlike today, the banks had a lot of power over people's lives. So he basically freed countless families in one of the hardest hit areas of the Great Depression in one of the worst times in history. And so that would make most people a folk hero. If I did that, people would think I was a folk hero too.
My hero.
Yeah, there you go, see? So anyway, I wrote this song to try to marry the folk hero and the violent criminal. And I hope you guys dig it. He went down one night in a driving rain to a bullet from the FBI. And they propped him underneath an apple tree, waited for Pretty Boy Floyd to die. Well, the cops all stared in disbelief. They've been hunting him for so long. There's Charles Floyd slowly bleeding out, public enemy #1. With a book full of warrants and a long list of crimes, and everyone bearing his name. Even if he'd only done half those things, he was good enough to hang. Not many people would have given Pretty Boy up. He was loved all across the land. But these were cold, hard years, and money buys ears when enough money changes hands. Boy Floyd, he lifted his head and he started to cough, and his mouth turned red and his face was ashen. His voice was weak, but his eyes were smiling, and he began to speak, and he said, "Whoa, you've got me dead to rights this time, and it's nice to finally meet you all, and I must say the pleasure is mine, because you run me all over Oklahoma, Ohio, and Missouri too. I never set out to be famous, and now you made me the headline news. Here I am, the great distraction, and they love me on Capitol Hill, because I'm the one writing your paycheck. Oh, the Senate just stamps a bill. Some men will rob you with a 6-gun, others rob with a fountain pen.
And I never took a dime from anyone who hadn't robbed 100 innocent men. Pretty boy Floyd closed his eyes, oh, because he knew the time had come to die. And there he passed into verse and song, and its story, well, he lives on and on and on and on. He went down in the dust in a noonday sun to a bullet from the FBI. Nobody really knows what happened. The story kept changing as the years rolled by. They dressed him up nice, they put him on display in the town of Sallisaw. Over 20,000 Oklahoma residents came to pay respect to a dead outlaw. And times are still tough and not very much has changed between now and then. Guns go for dimes, much bigger crimes are committed with a paper and pen. And it feels like the country is run by thieves like it was a pretty boy's day. And that's why we all love outlaws, 'cause someone's gotta make them pay. Down in October in 34 to a bullet from the FBI, and they propped him underneath an apple tree and waited for pretty boy Floyd to die.
All right, thanks a lot. That's a tune called Johnny Court the Widow. We learned that from our friend Jack Devereaux over the summer. We've been having fun playing it. So I mentioned, you know, we're in the middle of a I guess we're out for 8 days here. We've got 7 shows in Colorado and 1 show in Arkansas, and then we're back home. This has been just a pleasure, this tour from the get-go. But these tours, all tours, they're like roller coasters. They have their ups and downs, and they go in different directions. And some are better than others, and they all have their moments. And a couple years ago, we were finishing this tour. We'd been out for a couple weeks with all 3 of us, with our bass player Max, and we were finishing up in New York State, in rural New York. I can't remember what town we were in, but it was a pretty rough gig. And the last couple gigs of the tour were sort of like down the low part of the roller coaster. And when some gigs, you know, provide accommodations and other gigs don't, and when gigs don't provide accommodations, what we usually do is we'll just get one hotel room and all 3 of us will pile in, because realistically we just sort of show up at like 11 o'clock and crash for a bit and wake up in the morning and leave. So, you know, it doesn't make sense to spend a ton of extra money. And so what I do is I usually bring my thermarest and my sleeping bag, and I basically camp out on the floor, which is fine, comfortable down there and whatnot. But this night, you know, we're staying in this, I want to say it was a Motel 6, but I don't even think it was a 6. I think it was potentially maybe a 4, possibly like a 3.8 or something like that. And it was in March, so it was cold out, and there was a breeze coming in the bottom of the door. And I'm lying there, and there was a car, and the alarm kept going off in the parking lot. And I'm lying there on the floor of this room, and I'm just sort of start thinking about like the choices and paths I'd taken to make a 49-year-old man be lying on the floor of this hotel room. And I did something that you should never do in a moment like that, is I pulled my phone out and I started looking at Instagram. And of course, the first thing that comes up is all these sort of people I know, friends, acquaintances, and they've all got this gig. They're all on this gig that's in Mexico. And it's like on a beach. It's like a week-long festival on a beach in Mexico. And they're all like younger, more beautiful, and more successful than me. And they're drinking margaritas and having fun. And oh boy, it was hard to deal with. But luckily, I remembered something a friend of mine, my buddy Joey Wright, told me years ago, and he said that there is a Roger Miller song to pull you out of anything. Well, I hear tell you're doing well, good things come to you. Well, I wish I had your happiness. You had to do wack-a-do, 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 wack-a-do. They tell me you're running free, your days are never blue. Man, I wish I had your good luck charm. You had to do wack-a-do, 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 wack-a-do. Well, you're going down the street in your big Cadillac. You got friends in the front, you got friends in the back. Way in the back, you got money in a sack. Both hands on the wheel with your shoulders reared back. I hear tell you're doing well, good things come to you. Well, I wish I had your happiness. You had to do wack-a-do, 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 wack-a-do. I hear tell you're doing well, good things come to you. Well, I wish I had 10,000 followers. You had to do wack-a-do, 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 wack-a-do. Well, you're going down the street in your big Cadillac. You got friends on the front, you got friends on the back. Way in the back, you got money in a sack. Both hands on the wheel and your shoulders reared back. I hear tell you're doing well, good things come to you. Well, I wish I was on some beach in Mexico, drinking margaritas and picking forked deer with Sam Bush and members of some hippie jam grass band. And you had to do whack-a-do, 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 whack-a-do. You got friends in the front, you got friends in the back. Way in the back, you got money sack, both hands on the wheel, with your shoulders rear back. Beep, 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 boo.
Chris Coole, folks.
Thank you, music lovers.
Man, I don't care what anybody says. I thought that was pretty good.
Me too. All right. Well, when I booked this gig a long time ago, and unfortunately Steve couldn't make it tonight, but he had promised me because he liked the fact that we did some Hartford stuff, and he said, I got some Hartford stories for you. So I guess I'm just going to have to come back another time for the Hartford stories, but we're still going to play the songs. Well, Julia Bell Swain is a mighty fine boat, got a mighty fine captain too. Got a big red wheel, goes round and round, and a bunch of old hippies for a crew. Well, I can't stay here, gotta get away. I'm a Chattanooga, Tennessee bound. Gonna get the banjo, put it on my back when the Julia Bell comes down. When the Julia Bell comes down. When the Julia Bell comes to Peoria, you know that summer's here. Up on the Illinois River, it's the very best time of the year. Those steamboat days in August, like a lazy, hazy dream. Wanna be at the foot of Main Street when the Julia Bell raises steam. When the Julia Bell raises steam. Well, Dennis and Moon and Bob Burnett and Doc and Lori too. I one big steamboat family, the Julia Bell steamboat crew. On me, I tell you, I gotta get away. I'm a Chattanooga, Tennessee bound. Gonna get my banjo, put it on my back when the Julia Bell comes down. When the Julia Bell comes down. Well, the Julia Bell Swain is a women's live boat, the first I ever knew. Got girls in the pilot house and girls on deck, and a lady in the engine room. Well, Donna, she's got her license, and Cindy's learned to steer. Little Julie keeps Moon out of trouble by wandering off everywhere. By wandering off everywhere. belt together, turn around, she'll come right around on a dime. After the race, she heads up the river, cause the Julia Bell still got time. Yeah, the Julia Bell still got time. Well, I sure do love the Tennessee River, the Ohio and the Illinois. Oh, I love the old Mississippi River, it's a good old place for a boy. Just to step on board a steamboat, ride all the way to the sea. Where else but a muddy old river would a person wanna be? Would a person wanna be? Well, I come up the river the other night, darker than the inside of a cow. Ain't nothing like a crooked old river to straighten my head right out. Well, love my love's pretty as could be, and I love to bring her down. Cause pretty ladies really like to ride when the Julia Bell comes down. When the Julia Bell comes down. Thank you.
You guys like to, anybody in here like to smoke big pieces of meat in the backyard? Yeah, you guys, somebody in here is bound to have a good offset smoker, I'm sure. Oh, yeah. It's a good way to spend a Saturday afternoon, I'll tell you what. We were recording the music for the LP that's up there. We got a CD of that as well, and most of the original songs you're going to hear tonight we recorded. It's all original stuff. I am lucky enough to have a mother-in-law who has a cabin about 3 hours north of Toronto at the edge of a little lake, and it's a very nice place to go and write music. And so Chris and I and our friend Max, we all went up there. We carved a week out of our lives a couple of years ago, and just went up there with the intent of coming back with an album of music. And we did. We wrote a whole album worth of music. But about 2 or 3 days into it, you know, everything was pretty loose, you know. We'd work on stuff individually, maybe two of us together. Sometimes all three of us would jam on some ideas. And, you know, we were cooking all kinds of food and taking breaks and doing whatever. And at one point, I had a big piece of pork shoulder, and I was smoking it outside. And, you know, I'd come in, work on a few tunes with these guys and go out. And these guys are coming up with some great ideas, and I was mostly just kind of smoking pork shoulder. And at a certain point, that dawned on me, and I was like, oh, I haven't written anything for this record yet. And then...
Got hungry thinking about that pork shoulder?
I sure did. Yeah, nothing is, you know, sometimes horsehair is the only thing that helps. It gets in the way when you're playing, you know, sometimes it stabs me. Anyway, that's very much an aside to this story. I had writer's block, it turned out really badly, and you know, I was panicking, I didn't really have any ideas. And then I remembered what a friend of mine told me, a guy who's actually a good songwriter. He said, one thing you should do if you're out of ideas is just look inside yourself, you know, and try to find the truth from within. So I thought, oh, okay, I'll try that. So I turned my gaze inward, and I started looking into my soul. And, you know, I was just kind of peeking around, looking in some corners, you know, just trying to figure out what was there, rummaging around a little bit. And then I saw that there was this pit, this big crevasse, like a Mariana Trench or something. And I was like, oh, man, there's got to be something down there for sure. So, you know, I started kind of, you know, metaphysically speaking, just like, you know, what's down there? And then I saw a pair of eyes looking back at me, and I was like, what is that? And I got a little closer, and I realized it was a big piece of pork shoulder. And so I wrote a song about pork shoulder, folks. I did, and I'm so proud of it. And I'm going to play it for you right now. The thing about this song is it's a recipe. In the next shall we say, 4 verses. I'm going to detail to you, if you've never tried this before, how you can smoke a piece of pork shoulder, and at the very least, you'll get something that comes out of your smoker, maybe looking like a piece of blackened meteorite, granted. But when you tear it open or cut it up, it's beautiful. It's like moist and delicious and really good. It's kind of hard to ruin pork shoulder, honestly, as long as you keep it low and slow. Anyway, I came up with this song. Kind of goes like this. Hope you guys like it.
Well, I got me an 8-pound pork shoulder today. A cheap cut of meat'll smoke best is what they say. Hit it with the rub, overnight it in the fridge. You could leave it on the counter too. I can't wait to get low, slow smoking in my barbecue. For the rub, a tablespoon of sugar and pepper to start. 2 tablespoons of smoked paprika, cumin, garlic, and salt. Then a teaspoon of dried chili powder, the hottest one that you can stand. I can't wait to get cooking. I'm a pork shoulder smoking man. Can't wait to get cooking. I'm a pork shoulder smoking. Up and start cooking at 4:45. Yeah, smoking 6 hours at a temperature of 225. Then 6 more hours wrapped in butcher paper with the heat back a notch or 2. I can't wait to get smoking and I love to get cooking with you. Can't wait to get smoking and I love to get cooking. It apart is messy, but it tastes so fine. And if you like, you could simply cut it up against the grain. Carolina mop is easy like a Sunday morning, but any old sauce will do. I can't wait to get low, slow smoking in my barbecue. Can't wait to get low, slow smoking. Yeah, I want to get smoking and I love to get cooking with you. Want to get smoking and love to get cooking. I can't wait to get cooking. I'm a pork shoulder smoking.
Here's another John Hartford song for you guys. This is one of my favorites. It's off the record Mark Twang, and it's a squirrely. Anybody play fiddle in here? Got some fiddle players. So you know when I say squirrely fiddle tune, this one is squirrely as all get out, because Hartford does crazy things. But we kind of turned it into something that makes a modicum of sense. I hope you guys like it. It's called Skipping in the Mississippi Dew.
Well, dream of a girl on a steering wheel, steamboat, a pilot house, stove, and engine room brass. I'm hanging on the post by the main deck stair with a long hair skipping in the Mississippi Dew. Well, the river run deep, run wide, and muddy, or the river run long after I am gone, or the steamboat weaving on a big wide bend, I'm skipping in the Mississippi Doo. Last Sunday, 12 feet of water on the Memphis gauge, and it wouldn't be spring without the mud of water rolling on a paddle wheel skipping in the Mississippi Doo. Whoop. Well, the river run deep, one wide and muddy, or the river run long after I am gone, with the steamboat weaving on a big wide bend, skipping in the Mississippi Doo. I'd ship on the river 35 days on a bally line boat, and I'd make a little money, get a swing time chick, and take off skipping in the Mississippi Doo. Well, the river run deep, run wide, run muddy, oh, the river run long after I'm gone. Old steamboat weaving on a big wide bend, skipping in the Mississippi Doo. I've been, I'm skipping in the Mississippi Doo.
Thanks, folks.
All right, well, as I mentioned, me and John are from Canada, and we got a thing going on up there, and I don't know whether you guys have this problem. I don't follow American news, but we have a thing where the folks on the left and the folks on the right are not getting along. In fact, it seems like they're living in two different worlds. So you guys have anything like that down here? I don't know. Anyways, we have the same thing happening up there, if it makes you feel any better. But the crazy thing about it is that we have more ways to communicate than ever, and we can communicate faster than ever, yet we've never been so far apart. And that's, I guess, what this next song is about. It's called The Echo. All I can hear is the echo. It's coming around again. I know just where it's going. I know just where it's been. It's got me deep in the canyon where the sun never shines. So there's no soil for growing. There's no way to mark the time. The echo sound is so sweet in my ear, my ear. Now it's all that I can hear, that I can hear. The echo sound is so sweet in my ear, my ear. Now it's all that I can hear. This used to be a peaceful valley with clear water running through. You could take just what you needed. Each day it brought us something new. But now the banks are overflowing and the water's running brown. way to get around. The echo sounded so sweet in my ear, my ear. Now it's all that I can hear, I can hear. The echo sounded so sweet in my ear, in my ear. Now it's all that I can hear. When I first heard the echo, I felt 10,000 strong, like a voice in a chosen choir, singing the perfect song. But though the song is bold and righteous, I've begun to fear. Though we might be singing proudly, we're the only ones can hear. The echo sound is so sweet in my ear. Now it's all that I can hear. The echo sound is so sweet in my ear. Now it's all that I can hear. The echo sound is so sweet in my ear, my ear. Now it's all that I can hear, that I can hear. The echo sound is so sweet in my ear, my ear. Now it's all that I can hear.
Here's a song by a friend of ours called Darren Hackard. It's a weird song. I really like it. It's a mix of emotions. It's got a great title that's kind of apt for this moment in time. It's called Hurricane Season. Well, you've been listening to all those voices inside your head. Make you wanna open up a bottle of pills and just lay around in bed when the cold black water comes rushing in over your head. You're beginning to think you might be better off dead. Hurricane season is coming round again. Better hold on to what you can. Still water runs deep, that's what the old folks often said. Well, water don't run much at all when it's frozen. Well, you're beginning to count yourself as a human failure. You're beginning to think that it might be best to just call the whole thing off. And everywhere you look around you, it's nothing but stale. And all you ever feel is nothing at all. Hurricane season is coming round again. Better hold on to what you can. Still water runs deep, that's what the old folks often said.
water don't run much at all when it's frozen. Well, some people die in a fiery automobile crash. Some people die in a nursing home. Some people die in jail. Well, some people die inside before they're ever really dead. And they live out their days in their own personal hell. Hurricane season's coming round again. Better hold on to what you can. Still water runs deep, that's what the old folks often said. Water don't run much at all when it's frozen. Well, water don't run much at all when it's frozen. Still water don't run much at all.
Oh, thanks so much. How you guys doing out there? You got time for 2 more tunes? Yeah? All right. I'm going to play you one here. This one I wrote, I was sitting at my kitchen table back home in Toronto, and I was going through a similar thing to what John described when he was digging down in his soul, in the Mariana Trench of his soul there. And I was sitting at the kitchen table, and I had my cup of coffee, very early in the morning, and I had my banjo on my knee, just like in the song. It actually happens in real life. And for those of you, there's probably some folks out there who are songwriters, who've written a few songs, and you'll know sometimes when you're writing a song, the words and the music come right at the same time. But more often than not, what I find, and I think what a lot of my friends find, is you get either the words or the melody. And in this case, I had this really nice little banjo melody tinkling through my brain and my heart. And I just didn't know what to write about. So I thought, I was like, I'm going to be really clever, and I'm going to write about exactly what's happening in this moment. And it's like a car alarm going off. I'm not going to write a song about a car alarm. No, I thought, I'm going to write a song about not being able to write a song. It turned out it wasn't an original thought. A lot of people have done this. But it was enough to get me started on the song. But then it got me through one verse. But then the song, it morphed into a deeper look at failure in the more broader sense. And not the negative side of failure, but the positive side of it. In that, like, if you're afraid to fail, then nothing much ever gets done. And before I knew it, I had this song. It's called At My Kitchen Table. Well, it's at my kitchen table. It's there I'll make my stand, with an empty piece of paper and a banjo in my hand. Though the melodies before me don't know what the song's about, but you gotta let it in before you'll ever get it out. Well, the fiddler plays it pretty as they waltz across the floor. They're both feeling something like they've never felt before. He'd watched her from a distance, then he finally took a chance. You know you've got to trip and stumble, or you'll never get to dance. If trouble don't kill me, I'm gonna live until I die. The devil sees you stumble, but heaven knows you tried. You can study and rehearse it all from morning till night, but if you never get it wrong, you won't ever get it right. wakes up sick and shameful upon the bathroom floor. He pours out all his liquor like so many times before. He makes himself a promise that this is finally it. You just never can stop quitting if you ever want to quit. If trouble don't kill me, I'm gonna live until I die. The devil sees you stumble, but heaven knows you tried. You can study and rehearse it all from morning till night. But if you never get it wrong, you won't ever get it right. Black sheep of the family, the crazy hippie aunt. She saw a lot of life, but she never saved a cent. She had a dozen boyfriends and she loved everyone. You know, those that let their hearts run free might be the lucky ones. If trouble don't kill me, I'm gonna live until I die. The devil sees you stumble, but heaven knows you try. You can study and rehearse it all from morning till night. If you never get it wrong, you won't ever get it right. Hey, thanks so much, folks. It has been such a pleasure to play for you tonight. You know, when we're out rambling around, you know, you get to the end of the road for the day and you never quite know what you're going to find, especially in a case like this where it's our first time tour in Colorado. But boy, what a pleasure it was to walk in here this afternoon and meet Ralph, who's been doing the sound for us tonight, and see this beautiful venue. And, you know, if there's one thing that those years, those COVID years taught us, it's how important stuff like this is to a community. And I know I'm preaching to the choir here a little bit, but keep supporting this place and tell your friends about it, because I can tell you from traveling all over North America and Europe, stuff like this isn't everywhere. This is very special, and you're very lucky to have it, and we're very lucky to play here. And we hope to do it again sometime. All right, we're going to finish this night off with our most recent tune that me and John wrote together. It's probably one of the weirdest tunes we've ever wrote, and it definitely has the weirdest title because we named it after a household pest that we both were afflicted with recently. This one's called The Carpet Beetle. Thanks very much. We're Canadian. We'll do pretty much anything you ask us to. Yeah, sorry, we don't have that. No, I know you're wandering heart sort of worked up as a duo right now, but we'll do it another time. Another thing that happened to us when we arrived here was our new friends, George and Emily, made us dinner, a lovely dinner, and I want to thank you guys for that. That was really nice. This has been nice from the go-get, and so we'll send this one out to you. This is a medley of, first one's a West Virginia song that I learned from a banjo player by the name of Jenis Cottrell. I learned it from a recording of him. I never met him. And then we'll do one that John wrote called The Gully Junction, and then we'll, maybe if we're in a good mood, we'll finish off with a rip snorter. Well, it's lonesome here, it's lonesome all the time, lonesome on that cherry, cherry river line. Had a girl on yonder mountain, she treated me so kind. I went back to see her, she was always on my mind. Found her with another beneath the spreading pine, hugging and a kissing, drinking cherry wine. Lonesome here, it's lonesome all the time, lonesome on that cherry, cherry river. Well, now she's gone away, she left me here to grieve. Some other fella's got her in the meadow arbory. This train that I'm riding is pulling mighty slow. I hate to hear that lonesome, lonesome whistle blow. Lonesome here, it's lonesome all the time, lonesome on that cherry, cherry river. Someday I will forget her, no longer on my mind, but I never will forget that old cherry river line. Lonesome here, it's lonesome all the time, lonesome on that cherry, cherry river line.